Luca,
Yeah,
did you ever practice indoor voice?
I get loud when I get nervous and excited.
ALFA Relations, driving change forward.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of ALFA Relations. My name is Luca, and I'm here with my other two co-hosts, Alan
Hey.
and Alex.
Hello.
And today we got ourselves a pretty exciting episode. We got a few things we want to run through, but before we get into this, this week has been a little bit of a rough one, and so I want to take the time just to check up on you guys, see how you guys are doing this week.
Well, thank you for asking, Luca. That's very sincere of you. I'm proud of you. You held it together.
It did not take me 4 minutes to do this intro.
It
5.
took him 5. It took him 5 minutes.
Okay, you guys have to stop looking at that.
That's okay. That's okay. But in all seriousness, I'm pretty good, man. I can't complain. We're in full swing with the semester. For myself and for you guys, I'm spending more time online on Zoom than I would like to. And it's kind of getting a bit frustrating because I feel like my eyes are going squared, looking at a screen all day long for 9 to 10 hours at a time. The only thing I'm doing besides that is just like trying to catch up on sleep when I can. And then we're playing Among Us when I can, and that's becoming a bit of an issue because it's a little bit on the addictive side of things. Other than that, hey, thumbs up, I'm great.
Uh, this week's been a little bit hectic, especially today. We've had a little COVID scare at my internship, so I'm just dealing with that and all of the stress and anxiety that comes with it. So I had to get tested today.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, it's been a little bit of a hectic week, like Luca said, but I'm happy that we're all here and able to record the third episode for you guys.
oh yeah, that's it. There's nothing like getting the squad on a Friday night, after a rather busy, hectic, stressful week for some of us.
Yeah.
But here we are. Here we are. And hey, it's not like we could be outside because everything is closed. So how about hey?
Yay! We're back.
Oh my gosh. Tell me, like, what was that like? It's your first time getting tested.
Yeah.
Up the nose, down the throat, a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
That sounded weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah. A little bit. Um, Honestly, I was really nervous getting tested just because a lot of people I know have had to get tested and they did not describe the experience as a pleasant one. So I was a little nervous getting it done, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. The throat swab is nothing. Like you barely feel it. You just kind of feel like coughing afterwards, but it was fine. The nose one is literally what everybody says. It sucks. It's like you're snorting pool water, and that's just really not a pleasant sensation to have. But no, overall it was good, and, like, my nurse was really nice. She was trying to pull jokes with me. I wasn't really appreciating them because I was so nervous, but, like, in retrospect, like, it did make me feel a little bit more comfortable. It's actually pretty funny, so I'm gonna tell you guys the story. So she had tonic water instead of just regular water, and who the hell drinks tonic water for fun,
That's a good
right?
point.
Right? So she's like, "Yeah, I know I'm a little weird because people usually mix this with gin." And I'm like, "Yeah, like, it is a bit strange." But she's like, "I just like tonic water." She's like, "I don't drink, fizzy soft drinks or anything like that, so I usually just drink this." So looking at her, I'm like, "Alright, cool." And then the other nurse was just saying to her, she's like, "How do you know you don't we don't know that you don't have gin in your tonic water right now." And she's like,
Mm.
"Don't
Mm.
worry, I don't." And then she's looking at me, and then she's walking all over, like, like, "Whoa," trying to, like, pretend
Oh.
like she's falling over and whatnot, and I'm just like, "Lady, please don't do this to me right now. Like, I know you're clearly joking, but I'm stressed as hell, so
Mm.
no thanks." But yeah, so
Oh,
she did it, and that was fine.
damn. That is kind of weird, especially the tonic water part
Right?
there.
Like, it's so weird.
Why not just have a Canada Dry then?
Right? I don't know
Yeah.
why I didn't suggest that, but she was just vibing with her tonic water, so
Oh,
Imma let
okay.
her do her.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. So you got the test done at a clinic, a drive-through?
A drive-through.
Oh,
Mhm.
all this happened while you were like passing through in your car.
Okay, so I don't know if there are actual, like, in the car
There
drive-thrus?
are. Yeah, that's a real thing. Yeah.
Weird, but no, I did not go to, like, a car drive-through one, so basically, it was stationed in the back of, Hotel Brossard on the South Shore, so you just park behind of the hotel, and then you just line up, and they call you in one by one, and you just go into a room, they take down your info, you go into another room, they test you, and then you leave.
Huh. How
Yeah,
about that?
yeah.
How about that? Luca, have you had to get tested? Oh,
Thankfully not yet.
come on, man.
Thankfully.
Everybody's doing it.
I know, but like, you know, if you have like symptoms and stuff, then or you've been exposed or thought to be exposed to, then obviously like I think it's a good idea to go. But why waste any resources if I don't have anything or haven't been in contact with anybody that has?
Very true. Well, I'm curious to know what your experience will be like if you ever have to get it done. Hopefully not. I mean,
It's gonna be
Alex,
rough, though.
yeah, well,
It's
for
gonna be
some it
rough,
is.
though.
It's quite the sensation. I mean, I got upset at my nurse because
Yeah.
she didn't waste any time. I was the first person there. I got a test done in May, I believe, early May, and I'm the first person there. There wasn't anyone else, and she literally just told me, says, "This is going to suck, and I'm just going to go in and out like right now." I'm like, "Okay." Puts the swab right up my nose, and it's as if you have nerves that have never been touched before, obviously, just firing off, right?
Yes.
Going to my brain, and I'm like, I'm like, oh, that's pain. And I'm just like, I'm gonna push her away any millisecond, as the whole test only lasts no more than 5, 6 seconds max. And then she pulls it out, and I felt violated.
Right? It
Yeah,
feels like it's
basically.
in there
Yeah,
for so long,
Yeah.
and it's really not.
I
No,
can just
it
imagine the pain, honestly.
took me a day, a whole day, for the irritation to dissipate.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly, both of them would be disastrous for me. Anything like just putting the thing in my mouth, bro. I'm gonna gag.
No,
I'm gonna
it
throw up on
you
her.
really don't
Honestly.
feel it though.
I've had moments there with Luca that he's vomited, as some would say.
Honestly, I think there was only one.
There was only one moment.
The
In the
iconic,
plant?
the
Is that the
iconic
plant?
moment. Huh?
Is that the plant? The plant story? Is it you that vomited in a plant?
Who vomited in a
Oh
plant?
no, no, that's not us. Oh, maybe it was me. Maybe when I was younger, but not this story.
How many?
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
all right. I was only kidding. Just busting your chain there, making jokes. But if you like to, you got a thing with vomiting in plants, man. Then okay. Yeah. My gosh, Luca, my boy, man. No, you make me laugh. But in all seriousness, I do have something I want to bring up, man. Not in terms of vomiting, because I know what that was in relation to that time, but it was in the greater scheme of things of and Luca and nerves and anxiety,
Oh yeah.
something we all go through,
Mhm.
and there's just something that I've been meaning to bring up. And Luca, I just want to say, honestly, I'm not even joking about it, man. I'm so proud of the work that you've been doing lately, especially around school. Okay,
Yeah.
and I know you're going to tell the people about it in a second, but what you have been telling us, how you visualize yourself, how you see yourself compared to what you're actually producing in terms of the content that you have been working hard at, I don't see it, man. I don't see it. So good for you.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I want to say.
Yeah. We're
You
so
know,
proud of you.
that's it. So what have you been up to, big boy?
We had our first event. That we had all our boys show up to for the meet and greet for the association, which was honestly like such a good event. And if you're in AHSC, yo, go follow our pages because we have some events coming up, and it was actually so much fun. It would have been nicer if there was obviously more people, but honestly, like it was great. It was great.
I,
You
I,
know.
I'm happy with the amount of people that showed up because those who showed up, didn't go home empty-handed. Oh, no, it was fun, man. It was fun, but
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I know prior to it, there was some nerves. There was some nerves that I definitely had. I guess social anxiety is, there's a spectrum to it, right? Some people have it more to the extreme, some people are on the other side, and then there's everything in between. So, you know, social anxiety has always been something I've sort of dealt with growing up and stuff. And even like when I was younger, like before like hockey and soccer and stuff, there used to be some moments where you just throw up, like I'm like, it's rough out there. It's rough out there. I won't even pretend. So growing up, no, social anxiety has always been like one of my biggest weaknesses. And yeah, on like being in this position right now, I obviously like we've grown over the years, and I've worked a lot on just getting more outgoing. And this program itself, human relations, is a big reason for being able to become more comfortable being sort of like in front of people and just having to socialize. And yeah, I messaged Alan before the event or the group chat, and I was like, "Yo, I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous as hell right now," because it was the first event I was leading, and yeah, I know going into it, it's so weird because every time like you have to do like some kind of like speech or you have to start something off, like even before this podcast, like there's just those nerves where like, damn, I don't even know. It's so hard to explain. It's just like you get so up in your head and you start overthinking the whole process that like you just get so nervous and you're just expecting to mess up. And
And
with
that's why we spent the first 5 minutes trying to get it right.
which is just interesting though from seeing your perspective, being the person that I was giving like the intro to the event and then throughout, leading the event, just seeing how the way you saw it compared to like what's going on in my head, trying to stay calm and not overthink what I'm saying, and just sort of being casual and calm.
Dude, you killed it. Honestly. I mean, I know, I have a bias. I mean, I'm your boy. We've been good friends for a couple of years now. But I think the important part is to realize that you believe in what you're doing and you're having a good time with it. And then I think your nerves just went away.
Yeah,
Because I didn't
definitely.
see one, aspect that indicated to me that Luke is nervous and he's not vibing with what's currently going on. You just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
so true,
that's it.
so
That's
true.
it. And I think it was important to note too that I mean those who did attend. I mean, yes, I mean there were some individuals who didn't know the main group. In this case, it being your friends, your little
Yeah,
squad there.
yeah,
But everyone that was there was just there to have a good time, get to know
yeah,
each
for
other,
sure.
Yeah.
and just to listen to what was being provided.
Hmm.
And you killed it. You killed it.
Thank you,
So
thank you.
keep it up, man.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah! I'm excited. I am feeling a lot more comfortable. Definitely speaking in these situations. It's been pretty much what 3 years now in this program. Pretty much being exposed
Yeah.
every semester. You're pretty much thrown into a brand new group or thrown into like a new setting where you're constantly having to interact with people, which I think greatly like helped me just improve and become more outgoing. And also just having people like you, Alan, and Pat in a lot of my classes.
Aw.
Like you especially since the start, like you were all pretty much in all my classes at like our first year or
True.
more or less.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times what happened was that you sort of became like my safe zone in every class. So although I was not necessarily in your group or we weren't like
Come
whatever,
here.
sometimes I'd have to
Come here. Come give Papa Bear a
You?
hug. Come give Papa Bear a hug.
Oh my god,
I wish we had
so
video because
cute.
people would see that I have my
So
arms up right
cute.
now. I'm trying to like embrace Luca virtually.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Oh my
It
god.
was
But
a
yeah.
beautiful moment. That was a beautiful moment.
That was so cute.
It
I
was.
can't.
That was so sweet.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Wow.
real, man. I felt that.
Yeah.
Felt that.
Yeah, it's like so true. You sort of like at the start it was like sort of like you were like my safe zone. So although you weren't in my group necessarily when working with other people, just be having you there instantly gave me like a little boost of like being more outgoing. And that sort of over time, over that first year of always being sort of with you and being able to have that safe zone, when it came into the next year where I think I didn't take one course with you for like a whole year,
That's true.
but
One
during
semester. One semester, I think.
yeah, over
Yeah.
maybe one semester.
Yeah.
But like I felt going into that other semester because I was so used to having that safe base
Mm.
and I sort of built up that just being used to having to meet people and just socializing, that when I got into that next semester, I was like instantly a lot more social and a lot more outgoing. And that just coming into the third year, just last year was just a year of just like being so outgoing,
You've
and
just been cruising, man.
it was crazy, and also Pat, no, shout out Pat.
Shout out to Pat.
Shout out to Pat. He's always been one of those people that since like you introduced me to him, that instantly he always brought out like my outgoing side, and that's why it's just such chaos, because as soon as I get into that zone
Oh boy.
where I'm outgoing, like I'm just loud and I'm laughing a lot,
You're a
and
nonstop train, man.
it's just a mess, but it's so fun, and it's just getting out those nerves.
That's true.
Right.
That's
That you
what it
don't
is.
see, and that's sort of like the event, right? At the start, it was sort of like, hey, I have to do this thing. We're going into it, and then I sort of settled in, and then like everything just sort of nerves came down, and then that outgoingness came on, and that was when the our group just like we just took off, and it just became like almost like a virtual party, and it was just so much
It's
fun.
beautiful, man.
It was great. It was great.
It is. I love the fact how we've grown to have this group and we're very welcoming and we're inclusive and we ultimately we just like to have a fun time. But sometimes I think, damn, what if I never introduced Pat to Luca and the other way around?
So true.
what would have happened? Who would have Luca put in handcuffs in their sexuality class?
I got hung.
Luca would have handcuffed himself. That would have been a sad day.
That was a legendary class.
It's a talk for another day.
That's a story for another day.
Oh man, that was great.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I like
But
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I appreciate the fact how you're bringing up the nerves also too, in like in relation to this podcast. Because
Mm,
let's be real, like we're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to have it down, to the absolute best, but the goal is to get there every single time, to reach and reach a bit more than the last time that we did this. And I feel that. I feel like, I mean, from where we were in the last episode to what we're doing now, I feel 100 times more comfortable. And especially like the story that Luca just shared.
Mhm.
That's fantastic.
yeah.
That's it. And
Same,
just, I mean,
honestly.
just trust yourself, man. Just jump off into the deep end, see what happens. You don't know how to swim properly. I have friends that legitimately, I'm sure we all know someone that learned to swim just by their parents throwing them in a body of water. I'm like, okay, swim.
Yep.
Okay, go for it. That's it. A good friend of mine from my high school days, he says like, oh, Alan, you had swimming lessons? Like, yeah, did all my courses like that. Says my mom and my dad, well, they just threw me in a lake. They told me to swim. I could have died, but I made it. I'm like, okay, buddy. That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to figure it out. You just got to trust in the
So true.
process.
Throwing yourself in, honestly, is just the way to go, especially when, you have when you're overthinking, just go into the situation. And I found that has worked a lot, and we've had a lot of situations where I've sort of been thrown into the deep end, and honestly, some of the greatest stories, some of the greatest times. So
That's a fact. That's a
so
fact.
true. So true.
For sure, man. And that leads me to ask Alex a question. So, first of all, like we love Alex, we do, and it's honestly we were discussing earlier tonight how our relationship here in this group, how that has come to be, and how we've gotten to know each other pretty well in a short period of time, and how we're still continuing to know each other. And what I want to ask Alex is like, what has it been like to jump into this commitment with these two bozos here? Okay, at times we're smart too. Let's give ourselves some credit. Like I know them, I know these guys. They're from my class, but like I mean, like what's the thought process behind you jumping into the deep end, if you will?
It's actually pretty interesting because I did disclose in our interviewing class, which is where I really got to know Alan and Luca, that I'm not really a friend person in the sense that I like the friends I have now and I didn't really expect to make new ones. Like, I'm not really somebody who just meets somebody and then wants to be friends usually. So it was kind of weird when we all kind of just got together and I just started forming a friendship with them because like I feel like it happened so organically in a way that I kind of didn't really realize so much that that's what was happening, and then it just happened and I was okay with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's been quite the ride. I don't really have friends like them outside of this group.
Oh,
So it's
Lucas,
a
stop
really
crying, man. Come
it's a really cute dynamic because like we could be really goofy, like really goofy, and then just completely switch gears and they'll just reach out and be there like for me or we're there for each other type of thing. So it's been really good. We've definitely become a teeny tiny family and I do love them even in our short time and I know that they're one of the good ones out there. So it's I feel like I didn't really answer Alan's question, but
Oh, that you went beyond answering my question.
to
No,
answer his question more specifically, like, I don't know, it's just sometimes in life, the most unexpected relationships turn out to be the best ones, and I think I just kind of allowed myself to just trust the process, I guess, if that's how you wanna say it, and just see where this relationship was gonna take me, and although this podcast is quite the commitment, it's so fun, and like we're tight. So I don't know. Obviously, Alan likes this expression, Rome wasn't built in a day,
yeah,
but
man,
but
it's a fact.
we can still be good friends, have started this podcast and then just keep growing and learning together. So yeah.
Beautiful. That was great, Luca. You have permission to cry now.
Love you.
That was so touching. I feel like a proud Papa Bear.
Yeah, Alan is our
Yeah.
dad, for those who
I'm
didn't
everyone's
know.
dad, apparently. Okay, I'm like, I have too many children here. That was touching, though. That was touching. I felt that. That was real. I like what you had to say there.
Yeah.
I look at you guys and be like, damn, you know, like a lot has happened. Like, I mean, we've been doing a lot. We have a lot in our
Mhm,
own lives. There's a lot with
mhm.
school, among this group as well, the podcast. But I think that's
Yeah,
the beauty of it. You know, I mean, just roll with what you have in the moment and just see where it takes you.
yeah.
You know, I mean, that's why I wanted to do this. You know, that's kind of how I see life. Sometimes it's more like a curse than a blessing to take on more, you know, to bite more than you can chew. Is that how the expression goes?
Yeah.
Yeah, did I get it?
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so too.
Okay, I don't typically use it, so I don't know how it goes. Oh, anyway, but no, like I mean, I would just say have fun. If you have the thought of wanting to do something, then just do it. Don't think
Mhm.
about it, just do it. All right, because the more you start to think about it, then I guarantee you self-doubt will kick in at one point. You know,
Yeah.
they're like, no, like, I mean, I don't have the means, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources. Yeah, keep filling yourself up with excuses. I get it. I did it
Mhm.
with this until eventually I just said, you know, fuck it. I'm going to tell Alex, going to tell Luca, and let's just have fun with this.
Yeah.
Another example, too, TAing, right, at
Mhm.
school. That's something that I thought I wasn't good enough to do, that I wasn't smart enough, that I didn't have the grades, I didn't have the means, and that somebody better than myself was going to be able to do it until I said, no, come on, just, I mean, take that chance. And it's getting over those nerves, like what Luke is
Mhm.
talking about, literally.
Mhm.
And going back to what Alex is saying, you see how I'm tying everything together here? You know, about that process. I mean, just try it. I mean, by doing, you know, just get in there and see what happens because at the end of the day, you'll be surprised to see what may occur
Yeah.
and what you gain from that. And if I didn't take certain chances, didn't say yes at the
Mhm.
end, I mean, who knows? I wouldn't even like known Luca. I wouldn't have even known you. You
Yeah.
know, this podcast wouldn't be its little project that it is now. We wouldn't have known Graham, another good friend of ours. You believe that? A world without Graham, Luca?
Shout out Graham.
Shout out to Graham. That's it. Oh man, that'd be crazy. So
Yeah.
I think it's hard to push yourself, you know, but like I mean, you need to want to try and do so.
Hmm.
And if you have just even the slightest thought of whatever it is you want to do, like you want to go skydiving, but you're scared of it, go skydiving. Like I'm terrified of heights. Okay. And I did that little excursion at the Parc National de Mont Tremblant recently. It's called the Via Ferrata. And essentially, it's a mixture of rock climbing and hiking. It's basically like traversing a mountainside or the face of a mountain. And you have to climb, holding on, like you're attaching yourself of carabiners, hooks onto like metallic cables and beams that are embedded in the rock. And then it was 200 meters up and like 500 meters across, something like that. I was scared shitless. I have a
Mm.
phobia of heights. You know, I wasn't able
Yeah.
to climb, and it was raining that day as well. And I didn't want to tell the guy that I'm scared because if I'm scared, he has to do a quick reality check to make sure that I'm composed enough to do it.
Mhm.
So I mean, it wasn't a lie. I would say it was more like I gave him an alternative fact. So he asked like, you know, take a correct, Alain? You know, like yeah, I'm like, man, I'm good, I'm good. Like I mean, it's the first time doing this, so I'm feeling a lot of things right now. I told him that, which is
Yeah.
it wasn't a lie. I was feeling happy, scared out of my pants. Yeah, but I mean, you just have to do it because you'd be surprised what you're capable of doing.
Hmm.
You know, like Luca getting up there, you know, and having those speeches, right? And being a part of the association.
It's so true, and that all ties in sort of with, in a way, with social anxiety, with the driving force behind
Mm,
that anxiety being like the unknown, right? Not knowing what's going to happen, the overthinking of the situation, regardless if it's being socially anxious of being in front of a crowd, or just a social anxiety of just being outside in public. There's like I said, there's like a spectrum where just being out in public and even having to just talk to a cashier or something could be break such anxiety.
that's true.
So it's definitely just the unknown, and that's like always when I look back on a lot of situations where like I've had, like, let's say, like an anxiety attack or something, or I've been like super stressed out or whatever, anxious about something or situation. It's always like the unknown, right? Being worried and thinking too much ahead in the future instead of just being present and just thinking about what you can control in that
In
moment.
the here and now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
So as
many
soon as you
times
start
have
thinking
you
the
seen that
future,
theory, man?
oh yeah,
Oh man.
like every course almost.
Basically, it's true though. It's true.
It is true though.
Yeah. No. I
It
mean,
makes a big difference for sure.
yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I would
Because
agree.
as soon as you start thinking the future, or you start thinking ahead what's gonna happen and start overthinking it,
Yeah.
then that's when you're cooked right there.
Hmm.
It's over, and that's when the anxiety starts creeping up and you start getting in your head too much.
And then Luca starts looking at his plant next to him like, I think this might be the time.
What plant? What plant? There was no story of a plant though, I think.
Don't worry about it.
I don't remember this.
I
What
might have
the
been
fuck?
wrong, but I'm pretty sure
I
it was.
I I don't think it was me.
Luca, that's how good it was, man, that you don't remember, but other people do.
I don't
Wait,
remember that.
maybe you didn't throw up in a plant, but did you pee in a plant?
No, that wasn't me either, because I wouldn't be the type of person to pee outside. Maybe not Alan.
No, 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 no. That's not me. That's not me.
I'm
Hey,
so
hey.
confused now. Like, I know that
I don't
there's a
know.
story out there with a plant.
There was a story where I was younger, and back when I was younger, I used to play hockey, and there was this tournament, and I remember we got to the game, right? My parents are there, we're all ready to go to this tournament, and we drove like I think like an hour and a half or something, or 3 hours or something. I don't even know. It was like a good little drive, and I get to the I get walking to the stadium, right? And this was one of my problems, like growing up with anxiety, where I used to always like sort of throw up. And I'm right there in front of the stadium, and I throw up in these bushes outside the stadium, and my parents drove all that way just to bring me back home because I threw up, so they're not gonna throw me on the ice. And
Are you
Oh
serious?
maybe that's the story.
no.
Oh no.
Maybe that's the story.
It
Yeah, that's
might
why I had.
be. I remember something with plants.
That's my
Like, I
Mm,
first
don't
time.
know.
This is my
it
first
could
time
have been.
hearing this story.
Yeah, it used to be a big problem. The only sport I never used to like have that problem with was baseball for some reason. Because I used to play hockey in the winter, and then I alternated between baseball and soccer. And for some reason, soccer and hockey used to get me every time. For some
Damn,
reason,
for real?
the big I had to stop just because of that, and it was a big problem for some reason. And luckily, that hasn't been a big thing with anxiety really, other than like loss of appetite and stuff, which is
Oh wow. Okay.
something that I'm used to whenever I get nervous and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you just sort of adjust to it, especially with like with the last few years, sort of being more of in like a routine of like tracking food and stuff. Like you sort of learn to like balance out your week if you're having a really anxious day. Like that day that we had the event, I barely ate that day just because I had too much
No,
nerves.
really?
Yeah, that's just normal. That's just like how I am.
Wow.
But
Okay.
after like
Yeah.
after that day's done, the next day like I went back to eating normal and even more just to catch up for the day I lost. So
That's
it's a
interesting.
balance. It's
Yeah.
a balance.
But I just find this so fascinating how, I mean, anxiety, it's quite a unique concept, it affects us all in different ways. Like for
Hmm.
myself, I mean, I find that in times when I'm anxious, stressed, or quite nervous, I tend to overeat.
Mm,
Mm.
I do
Yeah,
that.
that's very common.
Yeah. And I tend to overeat, and particularly too, like when I have to like produce a paper, for instance, and the deadline it's coming up, it's like crawling up on you.
yeah.
I'll have like a meal, let's say at 12 p.m., like a little bit of everything. Okay, keep me going. And like, you know me, I can eat a lot of food, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And then
I've seen it.
by 1:30, okay, literally an hour and a half later or two, not even 2 hours, I'm starving again.
Mm.
And I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense,
Yeah.
And I came to realize like, no, that's the anxiety kicking in.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
How do you guys usually deal? Do you guys have any like tricks to deal with anxiety?
Uh,
Not necessarily, maybe not social, because I know. I guess you guys probably take in some kind of social anxiety as well, but
Mhm.
just maybe anxiety overall. How do you guys deal with it, and have you guys have any tricks too?
Confront it first of all. Know that, oh, okay, I'm clearly anxious right now. Have a quick reality check with yourself. Ask yourself,
Hmm.
oh, why am I anxious? I mean, people don't even know sometimes as to what it could be. Could be
Hmm.
an underlying issue, for instance, that you put in the back of your mind. Who knows? But no, that's what I do, and I just tell myself, you know what? No, I mean, to hell with it. I mean, it's here, but like you have to do whatever you have to do, and that's that. Like, I mean, take oral presentations for instance. When I was younger, I hated them. I dreaded them. I mean, my legs would start to shake, so my hands, I could feel my heart racing out of my chest. I just like it was not for me. And
Mhm.
nowadays, if you know me, especially in the program, I get up in front of
Hmm.
the class. I'll just do my thing.
Oh
I'm
yeah, he
very
does.
excited. I'm
He
very
does
excited
do it.
to do it. And maybe it's the environment where I am. I feel very comfortable. It's open. It's accepting of everyone and anyone. But I think just confronting it. Just being real with yourself.
Yeah. Actually, I think this works for any type of anxiety, whether it's, performance anxiety, social anxiety, or just anxiety attacks in general. Like, I've learned this technique and used it for myself as well that I personally find helpful. It's a grounding method,
Oh,
and it's called the 5 4 3 2 1 method. So you just have to ask yourself these I guess, statements or questions. So it's 5 things that you can feel, 4 things that you can see, 3 things that you could hear, 2 things you could smell, and 1 thing you could taste.
Oh,
Mm,
So just asking yourself these, I guess, questions and just having like it's giving your brain a chance to focus on something else other than what's making you anxious. And for me personally, that's worked. I had to use it today. My mom is the one who introduced me to this technique. So she had to do this grounding method with me today when we left the clinic or the drive-through clinic because I was just very anxious about like having to have the test done and then finding out about the positive test at my or result at my school. So it was just a bit of anxious emotions in that moment, and it was just really helpful to get my mind off of it. So that's something
mm.
that
nice.
helps me.
And has your mom been using, was that something she used to use when she was, I mean, is that something she still currently uses? I mean, where did she get that from?
I'm not sure actually. Like is the first time that like she's really done it like right away. So I don't know if it's something that she just recently found or she's always knew about but hasn't really done it much, but she did it with me today and it was really helpful, but it's something that like I've known about. So,
Mom knows best.
mhm,
That's
true.
good, interesting. Maybe I'll try that next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is it
You
Actually,
could just
interesting
look it up
tactic.
on Google. Literally just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method.
okay?
I think it'd be useful, actually, for real.
Mhm.
All right. That's interesting. You give
Yeah.
it a shot, come back, let you know. Alex, I wanted to let you know I tried it out and you're full of shit. No, 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 no. And you never know. Like some things are for some people, some things, they
Yeah.
work or they don't. But I'm definitely willing to give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep you posted.
I think definitely getting your head out of the like that cycle of overthinking, like in a situation like that, could be really useful for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and I could just imagine for people that go through constant like anxiety attacks all the time, like how hard it could be just to get out of that zone when you get yourself in that cycle and start going through an anxiety attack.
Mhm.
I'm lucky I only went through like one, I think. Yeah, one like not like when I was younger. Like see at the time it's weird because when you're younger, like no one knows what it is. Like my parents are like, okay, he's just I don't know, he's throwing up before games, but you don't
What's
really
wrong
know
with
that. Like, when you grow up, it's sort of you sort of learn that it's anxiety attacks.
that?
And
Yeah.
my sister has always been the sort of the person that first noticed that I had social anxiety when I was younger,
Oh,
and she always like sort of took lead to like make me not feel anxious in public and stuff because she knew that I was socially anxious a lot,
Mhm.
so it's just interesting to see that. But definitely like I think that's a good tactic for sure to go ahead.
how did your sister pick up on your social anxiety or realize that you seem to be someone that was an anxious person?
I don't even know, honestly. She's always been sort of ahead of her time with she I didn't even know anxiety was before she started talking about what anxiety was. Like she's always been sort of ahead on that stuff, and she just noticed. Like she'd be like, my mom would be like, "Oh, why are you nervous about this?" My
Mhm.
sister'd be like, "Because you have social anxiety," and I'm like, "What? I have what?" But it's just so true, being in situations, and obviously like now like it's so much different. Like I get anxious or whatever before like little whatever presentations or talking in front of big groups and stuff, but it's not like I'm barely ever anxious, and I actually like look forward to
Mhm.
socializing with people now. Like you just that switch, and obviously this is all because of more or less this program, right? Human relations, pretty much pushing me
Shout out to
and putting me
HSC.
for real, because like they straight up throw you into situations, right? Dive you head first, right?
All
Into
the
socializing, bro.
it's all the
So
circles and singing kumbaya.
Oh god.
Okay, disclaimer, we don't actually sing kumbaya. That's it.
You might as
What's that? We could, you know,
definitely could.
who knows? We do have the circle formations, helpful though. Bit awkward at first if you don't know, if you've never really been exposed to an environment like that,
Hmm.
and you'll be going down that road for a few years.
Oh god.
Oh, but it's a
Yes.
lot of fun. It's a lot of fun at
It
the end of
it
the day.
definitely pushes you
It does.
to be more social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, to get out there.
Yeah, for sure.
What I just find fascinating is the people. I mean, we're all different, but those who start off in the program and get to the end of the program and still feel uncomfortable to a certain level regarding their anxiety in front of others. In this case, a social anxiety.
Mhm.
And I'm only curious to know because, like, I mean, oh, that's it's fascinating knowing that there have been a lot of opportunities. I mean, not only in presentations or in speeches or what have you, but I mean, there's just a lot of exercises through group facilitations. We have so many different activities, check-ins, checkouts that are being hosted at a time that I don't know. I mean, maybe my perception is that I would think that most people that walk through the doors of HSC come out feeling more confident in their ability to handle their anxiety and
Mhm.
to present themselves in manners that they don't have to question about being nervous,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but I mean, hey,
So true.
yeah, I mean, we're all different.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone, and I mean, maybe it doesn't always make sense as well. That happens.
Mhm.
You could work at something for years and scratch your head and be like, I still don't get it.
Yeah.
you know
I feel like the people who are in our program who might still, feel maybe not anxious because maybe some people just don't like speaking in front of people, not
yeah,
necessarily
no,
because they're
no,
anxious,
that's fair.
just, they just don't like it. For the most part, I would think personally, I'm not trying to make any assumptions about people, but those who don't really participate or don't make the most out of what the program is trying to offer would most likely be those who either don't feel comfortable or still don't like talking in front of groups for any reason. Doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
to necessarily be anxiety related.
No, of course not.
But
Yeah,
I feel like if you participate in class, if you really embrace the whole program, whether you liked public speaking before the program or not, it's just something like it's a skill, I guess, that you just learn
Mm-hmm.
and naturally just ease into. Obviously, there's always going to be that little pit in your stomach or the sensation that you have to go pee beforehand,
Oh yeah.
get those little nerves, but I think that's just how it is for everybody, no matter how comfortable you feel, like,
Mm-hmm.
speaking in front of people. I don't know.
that's true. That's true. I remember
Yeah.
Luke and I had a presentation in diversity, a diversity course we took last year, and even beforehand, him and I both had to go use the bathroom. But
Every time.
every time. But we had a killer performance and we had a great time as well.
Yeah. We had a great group
That's
though.
it. No, no, no. It was quite solid. No, I would agree with that, Alex.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good point.
Right. Yeah, you develop it. Plus, the program's way more exciting and way more fun if you actually participate and
Yeah.
engage with
Yeah,
people.
if you embrace
Yeah.
it, I mean,
Yeah, because it's so much fun.
but of course, I mean, if you really want to do something, you're going to end up doing it. Ultimately,
Mm-hmm.
I personally believe that at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's clearly the case. I mean, with what we have going on here, talking about it too, like, I mean, it could get a hold of you, that anxiety. But if you just, like I said, come back, have a reality check. And if you fight through it, go for anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing stopping you but yourself.
That's so true.
Words of motivation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. But no, I mean, embracing this program or just really, really trying to soak up every single little penny that we've put into it. Actually, pennies don't exist in Canada anymore. Every 5 cents, I have to work up the chain here, guys. Um, no, I mean that's what's happened here. Think about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, oh, you know what? I remember there's a nice place next to our department in Montreal West called Souvlaki George's.
The go-to.
It
Shout
was a
out.
go-to. Oh, yep.
Yeah, the
If
go-to.
they're listening to this, shout out to Souvlaki George.
Yeah, hopefully they're doing good out there.
Hopefully so. I remember at times, like, I mean, we'll finish a class. I might go with Luca, with Pat, and maybe somebody else that we would just start talking to in whatever class it may be like, hey, we're about to grab lunch. Would you like to join us? And that's the essence of it, of HSC at the end of the day.
Mhm.
It's to connect, it's to
Mm.
relate your humanistic side. Ah, sorry.
It's so true.
Yeah. But no,
It's so
that's
true.
what it's all about. It's about just, I mean, the collaboration and how we could just, I mean, work on what we already have and just push forward to create some new meaning, however you see that.
Yeah.
So true. So true. Yeah, definitely. And I think that people have, obviously like this program has sort of pushed me there, but people that aren't in a program that necessarily pushes you to be in situations where you have to socialize, if you're dealing with like social anxiety, I think just taking baby steps to slowly get out of your zone, the way when I first started this program to where I am now is just slowly pushing myself a little bit outside of that comfort zone and just sort of learning that everything's okay. That thought that's in your head, that anxiety that you're going to mess up and make a mistake, like people don't take the time. Like after someone messes up, like you're not there like thinking your whole day, oh my god, I messed up. Like it's legit in your head for like a split second, and then you go on with your life. And I think that's one thing just that helped me a lot is just to realize that people don't really care,
Yeah.
and I think that's that's just the truth, and a lot of time the anxiety behind it is just worrying what other people are gonna say or think. But in reality, they just don't honestly
No,
care. They're living their own life. They
that's
have their
it.
own problems,
That's it.
and it's just sort of taking baby steps till you get to a point where
You said
you're
it.
slowly gonna
Yeah,
become more comfortable. Maybe not outgoing, but more comfortable being in social situations.
exactly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, why give a shit then, right? Just do it. Just do it.
Exactly.
Just like this. I mean, I guarantee you, we're gonna have people tuning into this episode, being like, "Oh, okay, this is starting to sound like shit," right? And then maybe they'll critique this or they'll critique that, and then they'll wander off and be like, "I don't know what I did with like the last 20 minutes." Yeah, that's it. But they won't care. They're gonna move on
I
just
feel you.
like that.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so
That's
true.
just
Plus, like
that's what happened.
we're just here trying to spread our experience, and hopefully people could resonate with stuff. Like I'm
True.
sure there's other people that have thrown up and plants before, and who could relate to
Oh,
my story, and who have gone through anxiety attacks, to like I have, where you just throw up everywhere, and it's just
exactly.
yeah,
Nice,
yeah,
nice touch there, Luca.
yeah.
And hey, and if you guys started off listening to this episode, had no idea where it's going, and you're thinking like, what is this? But you got to the end for whatever the reason may be. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
Thank
you.
you.
that's it.
Let's go. Thank you
That's all we have to say.
to everyone listening.
Exactly.
We got over 100 downloads on episode 1, so
Hey.
thank you to everyone who watched that. That is honestly like so surreal. I
Yeah.
think 100 people went to check out our episode. Like that's just crazy.
That's a big step for us.
Hey,
Yeah, it's honestly means a lot to us.
and shout
Yeah.
out to the person in Alberta because there's only one of you out there that actually listened to us. We don't know who you are, all
Yeah.
right? But hey, thanks.
That one guy in Mexico
Yeah,
or lady,
that's
guy
true.
or lady.
People might be wondering, okay, how do they know specifically? Well, our stats that are presented with our host server that launches our podcast out onto all the major platforms. So they tell us the details as to where our listeners are coming from, which is pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to everyone. That's the bottom line.
And I actually just want to say something real quick before we wrap up today. Um, we're not going to spoil the surprise, but it's just to let everybody know who's gotten to the end of this episode that we do have something very, very exciting coming up.
Oh,
We have a very special guest joining us in our next podcast. You'll have to wait to find out who, but just giving you this little teeny tiny bit of information so that you guys want to come back and listen.
Alex, who is it?
You'll have to find out.
No. Like, I mean, I honestly forgot. Who is it?
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Fine,
I'll
fine.
tell you after.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Okay, guys, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. It's been a long day. It's been a long day, but a great day.
Yes, it has.
That's it. And just remember, guys, it's not how you start the day; it's how you finish it. I can. All right,
That's
so
right.
we're gonna wrap this up. I wish you all a good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. Stay beautiful.
Take care, everyone.
Hey, Luca didn't forget this time.
Let's
You got it.
go.
You got it.
Yo, outro us out, Alan.
We are Alpha
Yeah.
Relations,
Yo.
driving the change forward.
Yeah.